Okay, welcome to the CartoonStock Caption Contest.
All right, it's great. We have Jason Chatfield, who's done a really good cartoon for us, and we got really good submissions. And I've known Jason for years and years, in which I rejected his cartoons for the New Yorker, right? Is that correct?
And yet yeah, you bought my first one.
We've maintained a good relationship. Jason's a really good cartoonist, has done what a lot of cartoonists should do, is be ambitious and has a lot of things going, and was president of the National Cartoonist Society, right? And in which he was accused of no malfeasance, I'm happy to say, during that time. There were not enough funds there for anybody to actually be tempted to steal it.
Nothing to embezzle.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background? You're from Australia, from some godforsaken place there in Australia that has. Where'd you grow up? Tourists never visit there, right? Or they never.
That's right. I'm from a small place. It's the most isolated city on Earth. It's called Perth. No one really goes there unless they're on the lam. It is, though, the home of the quokka, which is a small rodent that seems to have taken Instagram by storm. I grew up in Karratha, just above Perth, which is like a desert town where I had nothing to do but draw. So that's hence my one employable skill.
What did your parents do there? And I mean, what's the main industry of
drinking? No, my dad owned the local pub, and so I had a lot of uncles that weren't really my uncle. People passing through town, my mum helped run the pub with Dad.
Is the pub still there?
The pub is still there. It's called the Karratha Tavern. It's they opened it in the 80s.
Is it still in the family? Or
no, they sold it eventually. They upgraded from a pub to a restaurant. So it's hospitality has been the family business, and I reneged.
If you go there, what's the fare? What's the dish of the day? What should we be ordering if we ever find ourselves stranded?
If you want the best pub grub in Karratha, you're going to want to get the chicken parm with a pot. A pot is like a pint of beer, but it's
sounds great. That sounds great.
Not the small.
It's not bad.
Chicken parm, you can't go wrong with chicken parm. All right, why don't we get started? Well, it's great to have Jason here. Thanks for doing the cartoon, which I thought because this cartoon wasn't. I think we got so many good captions because it's like a real cartoon rather than a very strange caption contest cartoon, which is sometimes hard to work with.
So in this one, it's a somewhat depressed baby is talking, is the one talking, and clearly at a bar talking to a bartender and another person there listening. Pretty much sums it up. It gets our favorite themes of our caption entries, alcohol and boobs and everything else that we got. But we did get great captions, and this is actually the record for the amount of captions that we have in common.
Oh wow!
I had a hard time picking captions.
Well, I think I had a hard. I mean, there were a lot of good captions, and there was the phenomenon where they really were good, and then as you kept looking at them, they become less good. Not because they're actually less good, just because you keep looking at them, and then you have to make the decision.
Yeah. So for that reason, I was surprised that we had the record of the ones that were in common. But I will share. I will share those. So 15 in common and new record. So it's going to be a battle to get down to 6 and a winner here.
Right.
I will. I'll read them out a little bit here. All I want to do is drink and cry, and then it hit me. I'm sleeping with my mother.
That's great.
Yeah, I like that. And then she just pushed me out. Another day closer to death. Each time it's something new. I can barely manage the one-step program. I can't just crawl back to her. I'm in a first few steps program. You think you had a rough day? Ever hear from Chris? She said she doesn't want kids, which is funny.
Yeah, that's great.
You got tired of trying to change me. No one understands me. Just leave the bottle. It's 5 a.m. somewhere. I put an asterisk here because this one was popular, but there was a 2 a.m. and a 3 a.m. I don't know if different people submitted it.
Yeah,
it's got to be 5.
That's
Yeah,
the right one. 2 a.m.
Yeah, 5. It's
Okay,
even though
as the person here
as
the person here who has a 2-year-old, it's all the same, 3 and 5. But
Yeah.
okay, but maybe 5 is better.
No, but 5 plays off of the phrase.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah,
Right.
5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. It's 5 o'clock. You can start drinking. But afternoon, and then I'm not drunk. I'm nonverbal.
Well, that doesn't make.
It's funny. This one,
he can't actually say that. It contradicts it.
That's what is funny.
Right.
There is a slight.
It's absurdist.
Yeah, that's what makes it funny. But there is a
Thank you for telling me that.
unintentional.
I appreciate that. Because as I go into my dementia stage, it's important to remind you.
My big problem with this one is it's unintentionally. There is, the
there was
being a difficult subject, or obviously it's very sensitive and one that we should be aware of. It could potentially be a little cruel. It might be a cultural thing, but nonverbal is a autistic issue in the U.S. So I'm kind of wary about that one right away, but I don't think it's intentionally done that way.
What's the
not
issue?
being nonverbal? Children that are every parent is so stressed that their kid is nonverbal for years, etc. I might just be
speak early enough, or then never speak.
Yes, and I just don't want to. I don't think it's a mean-spirited one, but it could potentially. So I just wanted to highlight that one.
I don't think those kids are nonverbal. I think they're taciturn.
It potentially could be. All right.
I think, well, we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. No.
But anyway,
it's not gonna be among the top 10.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be there. I think we can take it out now.
Okay.
Just one quick one to take out right away is we have the same one essentially twice. I can barely manage the 1-step program, and I'm in the first few steps program. So just neither might make it, but we can knock out one right away.
Knock out in the first few steps program.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I agree with that. But again, a decent caption.
Yeah.
No, there were a lot of good captions.
We're commentary.
We're down to 13. This is going to be a difficult one. I can start putting them on the cartoon. We can see how they look there. But does anyone have any here that they immediately?
Well, I guess my philosophy on this was there were so many good captions, but I was looking at, does the caption make sort of sense in some way? And my bias, even though they're good, is against just wordplay. If I'm having to choose between two captions, I will always go for a caption that isn't a pun, or so the even though it's still funny, it wasn't a pun. So I'm trying to look at this actual scene and saying, this kid has a complaint, he's unhappy. What is he? Does it make? Does it? So when we look at my captions, that's what I was sort of drawn to. Not rather than she just pushed me out, which is funny, because she pushed me out. Child is pushed out. I understand it. I get it. It's a joke.
But Bob, I would say there's a difference between a pun and somebody who's transforming an ordinary statement into a fitting caption. And I think,
and so I thought they were good, except when I had to choose whatever I chose.
Yeah,
I even though it was still good. Then she just pushed me out. She tried to change me. You know what I mean? They always try to change me, and I understood it, except when I picked the ones I said, okay, since there are so many good ones, which ones am I going to favor?
Right.
Well, I can put some in. I'm putting some in the caption now that we can take a quick look at. There's a lot of them.
Well, to that point, the things that jumped out at me when I read the captions were the ones that had the best interplay with the image itself. So I always favor, similar to Bob, like I love a good pun. They have their place. But as Lawrence says, sometimes there's puns and sometimes there's double entendre. There's like a specific, taking a specific thing and then it having that second meaning. But if it doesn't have the right interplay with the sort of scene and sort of the way you read the image and then the caption and then back up to the image, if it kind of misses, if it's clunky, then
So even the slight thing there in terms of it's 5 a.m. somewhere, is and so there's another one there which is the little hand and the big hand, but it's sort of, and it's also trying to make two little jokes there. It's trying to make a joke about how a kid would tell time and this other thing, so a little clunkier.
And I think I think we chose all good ones here. A lot of them were, he was a little angry, and I think he's very much resigned in the drawing. So I'm glad that we went with that route, because he's not yelling. Like it's kind of followed with a sigh in a way, his expression. But
and the posture would be an interesting. When I was looking at it, getting credit for an interesting idea, the caption doesn't quite work. It's like 90s are the two terrible twos. I like the fact that he could be an old man who is now in his diapers. If you could make it work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was interesting to me, but then the caption just wasn't.
One thing we didn't pick, which I wanted to pick one, but these were all much better, was the New Year baby. A lot of people attempted that, and it.
Well, that's what I liked about that one. First, when you look at a lot of these, one of the things that sometimes jump out to you is, oh, that's an unusual kind of attempt, right? Where it says, you think I sold the sash and the other thing for collateral. It's when you then had to put together. Doesn't say he's a New Year baby. You have to put those elements together. I actually liked it, and if I was, still doing like cartoon editing, I might actually even pick that just because it's. Just because it's unusual.
Yeah.
But in the end, I think I knocked that that out also. But a number of people did try to say, well, he's a New Year baby.
Yeah.
And when you think about when they actually entered this contest,
No, I wanted to pick one of those, but we didn't get there. All right, so I have all 13 in the caption here. Let's just see how they kind of read with the image and see how we can get to 6 somehow.
Okay.
Before we fight for our favorites, so we are far away.
That's good.
That's very good.
Yeah, that looks like a cartoon that ran.
I mean, that's very good. It's just one slight thing that's changed.
Right.
And
see, that's also good.
That's obviously very good. And the other one was leave the bottle, right? But just leave the bottle.
Well, this is Jason's original caption.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to reveal, but that was the original caption, was leave the bottle. What I like that the person has done here,
that's why it can't win.
So you like Jason, you like the just more than your
I
caption?
like that Just is doing some heavy lifting here. Only that it means it's the second time he's gone back to. It implies this is. Yeah, just leave the bottle.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, you don't need to.
And wait a second, we got to give complete credence to Jason here. He grew up in a pub.
This is a scene from my childhood.
His first memory.
This is how he was weaned.
This is a journal entry.
This is his first memory.
But I do think I love this. It's a great caption, but I do think there's a problem with choosing a finalist that is, or a winner that's pretty much identical to the artist's original caption. I think we have Jason's. We should go for 6 different jokes.
Yeah,
that's unfair.
It's unfair to the entrer, but I agree. I hear that. And then this is actually the first time after doing this for a while here that we've ever had such a nearly identical one. So.
But what do you think? I think it's this. Probably this scene, it's much more like cartoons that have appeared. In fact, there is a cartoon of Mort Gerberg. Maybe it's not this one. Maybe it's father. Maybe it's both of them. Maybe it's the guy who's going out in the new year and the baby, and the caption is one for my baby and one for the road.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I want to ask Jason, because I think this is an outstanding cartoon with your caption. Did the New Yorker reject this? I'm just interested. Did you?
I'm afraid they did. Yeah, I pitched it in 2018, and I think the feedback was something about the sensitivity of a baby drinking. It was, if I'm remembering going through my notes, I always make notes from the meetings on why it was rejected. Just in case it's something that I avoid in the future, you know?
That's ridiculous.
Oh, so
I know it's a silly thing,
to avoid anything funny in the future.
Really watering down every joke.
I think that's an interesting note, and hopefully you haven't.
I do want to quickly note that on our site, CartoonStock.com, we get a quick 8,926 results of baby and alcohol. I will quickly run through. Drunk baby coming out at a happy hour, care for a drink.
Right.
They have a baby, and one for my baby. I drink to forget here.
That's funny.
It's just the milk talking here by Sarah Morris. Oh, he looks. Cheers, kid. This is. Oh, here you go, Bob. Make it one for my baby and one for the road.
That is a Gerberg, yeah.
Yeah, but very different.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah.
Very different. No, I think this is an outstanding cartoon. I'm really shocked.
Let's not suck up to Jason that much.
We do have a leave the bottle here, so maybe we will rotate.
Oh wow! Look at that. Who did that one? Is this Eric?
Well, it's great. It's a good thing you don't want to be president of Harvard.
You know, I know, Bob, you know this about me, but my biggest fear, and I always ask other it's one of the other cartoonists hate me, you know, I'm like a broken record, but my biggest worry is like, oh, this has definitely been done. This has definitely been done. I immediately go to CartoonStock, Google Images, the Condé Nast store. I like troll. Every time I come up with an idea, I'm like, oh, this has definitely been done. Yeah. And I'm petrified of treading the same.
I think though that sometimes when it does fit exactly, it's likely. And so sort of reinforcing that is that a number of people came up with it. So this is the case not because they've seen the cartoon somewhere, but this is a sort of natural idea.
Well, it's parallel thinking, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, we see it all the time at CartoonStock. We don't ever think it's it's what it is. It happens all the time.
Jason, that happened to me back in the day when back in the 90s, I had a cartoon in Private Eye that was one of those evolution cartoons with fish to man, and it was the fish at the back going, "Are we there yet?" And
that's a good gag.
And I put it in, and someone wrote into Private Eye and say, actually, there's an Australian cartoon, and I had no idea, but they forwarded it to me with a question mark, saying, "There's no way I could have known that there was an Australian cartoon that was exactly the same joke."
When at the New Yorker, every once in a while, a cartoon would appear, and then someone would say, "Well, it's clear that the cartoonist, saw my blog from 2003."
Right.
They have the idea that someone could not possibly come up with the, with the same idea.
All right, so moving along here, we got No One Understands Me.
Good.
It's good. It's good.
Very classic.
That's a nice one.
She got tired of trying to change me.
I think that's great.
Yeah, I mean it's okay.
Like in it.
No, it's great.
You said she doesn't want kids is funny to me. I like this one.
Yeah.
I thought that one was quite good.
Yeah.
I like that one. I'm happy getting rid of this one.
I really don't.
I mean, we have to knock out 7. I mean, come on.
I know, but before we knock it out, and I'm happy with knocking out. Let me just say why I like it. The others that I like are somewhat obvious. I mean, you're not really surprised by them. You just think that's a really good joke. That's nicely phrased. This one came completely out of left field. And really surprised me. And that's why it stuck out to me, because the other ones, I liked, but I didn't think, holy cow, I never would have thought of that. This one I never would have thought of. And it really matches the baby's expression.
Right. I agree that it, I think that's
Andrew's bloody diaper, which we can't see.
What I loved about it was it had that old Bob Hope, Gene Perret style writing, which is ever hear of. When you say ever hear of, it's such a 1960s gag, like, you ever hear of a Brit? Like, that makes me laugh so much more.
I mean,
right.
That framing.
They took a Briss to a whole new level. But
but I'm happy knocking it out. But I just wanted to give
what I don't like about it is exactly what Jason said. It's a two-parter, and so it's a good cartoon. I mean, it's good. Like all of these were so good.
It is funny, absolutely.
All right, so it's funny. Let's go.
It's going. It has to go.
I'm gonna knock that one out.
It's good comedy writing.
1947, but that's great. This is very
managed.
That's pretty strong for me. That one.
Yeah.
Each time it's something new.
It's clever, but it's not.
Yeah. This one you don't get as good of a laugh. It's more of a clever acknowledgement.
It really works, but it's not. It doesn't make you laugh.
Are we okay knocking it out only for the sake of it doesn't really give a hearty chuckle?
Yeah, we've got enough chuckles to get rid of that, I think.
Yeah.
Hearty chuckles.
Well, that's one of the one of the features. She just pushed me.
Well, if we're going to do the change thing, I feel like we should have one. If we do one or the other between I wouldn't have pushed me out and try to change me, but
change me is better.
I think change me.
This is similar to the Briss one in that it gives a mental image that's a little unsavory. So
I thought we were going for unsavory.
we can be.
This one I loved.
Well, this is great. This is great.
It's perfect for the.
You know what?
Every month.
Yeah.
It would be better if it was in a therapist's office, baby on a therapist's couch.
Yeah. That would work there too. True. That would work there too. This does have the kind of conversation you might have at a bar.
Unexpected me. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Well, it's true. I don't think we would say that, but still, I think that's good.
All I want to do is drink and cry. It is kind of funny, especially if you're around kids all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
So we are now down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are not doing well here.
I would get rid of that one. The drink or cry one is not. It feels.
Yeah. It's a bit C-say. Yeah.
Get rid of that.
Done. We're getting rid of Just Leave the Bottle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though it's great.
I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, but I prefer the other ones. I think they've done some really you can tell the people who have put a lot of thought into it, and I think You Ever Hear of a Briss made me actually laugh, which is
Yeah.
weird.
All right, well, there we go. Let's give them that. Because we actually have to do this.
All right, so we have 8.
We have to remember 2 things. We have to do this, and it's not that important.
That's my whole job.
And I can say that as former cartoon editor. It's just not that important. But
this one I could knock out too.
No, let's go.
Yeah.
I
agree. No one's fighting for it. It's hard.
Well, but because I guess there's a little something there because it's the baby, But
the day after birth,
yeah.
All right, what's the next?
We have 7 here.
Maybe we should just see all 7. Oh, it's 5 a.m. somewhere. We know we want that.
Okay, so that's in. No One Understands Me.
I like that, but is that kind of a little too obvious?
Yeah.
Right.
So let's knock
we'll put that on the.
I would knock that one out.
We'll put it on the maybe. Let's go through and we'll put that on the maybe.
Okay, but the problem with No One Understands Me is it's kind of similar to the nonverbal one. It doesn't really make sense. No one understands me, but he's saying something that everyone understands. I know that's getting down into the weeds. But
it's a little bit better, maybe, because that other one is a direct. The other one seems a direct contradiction, and you could see where there's a sort of middle ground here.
Yeah.
Where
a thought bubble would be the middle ground.
They don't understand him enough, and let's just look at it the other way. If he was saying she doesn't understand me, it wouldn't mean that she doesn't understand anything.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that severe. So maybe and it does take a little bit just to understand the joke.
Well, Jason made a great point. It would work really well as a thought bubble.
Yeah.
But then why would they be looking at him? So the interplay.
It does look like he is saying this. Like,
no, I understand. I'm just saying if you redrew the cartoon a little bit,
right,
that joke would work better.
Yeah, if you knew what you were doing, Jason.
You got tired of trying to change me? Good cartoon.
I like that.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, so let's keep that then.
That's strong.
This one's one of my favorites. I'll fight for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
I can't just crawl back to her.
That's very good.
Okay.
I can barely manage the one-step program. And this was probably my favorite. And then my mother. All right, so we're gonna get rid of No One Understands Me.
I would.
No one's fighting for it. All right.
Okay, so what do we got now?
We now have 6.
Can I make a note on the crawling back one?
Yeah.
Can I see how it reads? I can't just crawl back to her. My only note on this would be the term is come crawling back. So it would be better written as I can't just go crawling back to her or come crawling back to her.
I can't just come crawling. Yeah. But it's still.
Yeah, I can't just come crawling.
Yeah, I can't just come crawling back.
That would have been so much better.
All right. So let's we have 6. Let's see if we want to fight for any that did not make this list and then try to pick a winner.
Okay.
I really hope we don't fight for too many here because this was really hard to get to 6. We will start with, let's see who we got first. Joel.
Okay, well, yeah, a lot of mine made it. Like everybody's, I think a lot of the ones I liked made it. The ones that were on my longer list. What the first thing I would say is I found that a lot of the ones that I tried to find ones that made me laugh that didn't fall into the category rearranging a phrase in a pub that would or a bar that would suit a baby, because a lot of the jokes fall into that category, don't they? They're just taking a meme said in a pub and turning that into making it relevant for baby. So I think that's why I like that I'm Sleeping With Your Mother the best, because it doesn't quite fall into that category. So it's more surprising. So that's my kind of thought. And the ones that were on my longer list that didn't make it, that I'm just going to give a shout out to. One of them I knew would never be accepted, and when you just did that CartoonStock search and it was kind of top of the list, there was a nappy hour pun in the and I was looking at it, giggling to myself, going, Lawrence is going to hate this. So I like the nappy hour joke, if for no other reason than for that. And then I quite liked Somebody Call Me a Stork, which didn't make my shortlist, but I thought was again another.
There was someone.
There were two there. Both
Call Me a Stroller. I thought those.
Somebody Call Me a Stork.
They were interesting ideas, because once I think that's why I picked those also, because it wasn't just the common phrase, but
yes, those are my only thoughts.
Yeah, I don't think I appreciate it, Joel. I don't know if they're getting in there in this top 6. So, Lawrence, any that you really want to try to kick these out?
We've already discussed my top 10. All of them were in the top 16. So I've got nothing else to fight for.
Wow, that's a first. All of yours made the top 10.
Kind of pleasant and easy.
And just to repeat this, I mean, we try to repeat this every month. We don't see what anyone picks, so we're pretty uninfluenced by everyone else. Bob's.
Let's see. Would one of you help my dad up off the floor? I thought that was really quite funny, because he's drinking. His father has brought him there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was an unusual cartoon.
Yeah.
No, I like that one too.
It's very surprising. It's looking at it a completely different way. I mean, I won't fight for it, but it is good. And the other ones, I won't fight for any of them, and I won't fight for that either. But I thought it's good. I did try the thing with the New Year's, sleeping with my mother, just leave the bottle. Dad off the floor is funny, but it's just weird.
Yeah.
But it's a caption contest cartoon. It's not a real caption.
Right.
Well,
it's no cartoonist. One of the criteria I think that I apply ultimately is, or going back and forth really, oscillating, is, would any cartoonist actually ever put up that caption? No. That's in response to the context of a caption contest where you're trying to do something other people aren't doing. And therefore you're actually doing something pretty good, because you're coming up, you're being funny, but it's another game. So it's always like, what game is being played? And in the end, I think we come back to, for the most part, because there's always a fudge factor, in the end, we just do what we want. Which is the right way to behave in something like this. You don't get too ideological. But I did think that was funny. And then the other ones, the Don't Shake It, so just splash it on your wrist. I wanted to get, I couldn't get the right one for that, but I put that. And someone called me a stork. Somebody called me a stork. I was thinking that is good. And I liked it better than stroller, just because, Lawrence, that ends with a K.
Yes,
K sounds.
I don't like that. I don't like that rule with words with a hard K.
No, I don't. But I think what you do like is it ends a little faster. What I didn't like was stroller was actually better, more like an actual Uber or
to
So
that point,
I don't fight for any of them. I think the ones we have are fun.
To that point, I did have stroller among my favorites. I'm not going to necessarily fight for any of these.
But all this is good, because all the people, sorry, who you're not going to win and get any dough and everything, these are good captions.
I like, apparently I'm just a play date to her. Can I get a beer for crying out loud is so punish, but it is, I'm the only one. I'm the only one with little kids in the house here, so I can actually see my daughter Goldie saying that. Can't sleep, can't eat. Each time it's something new. But yes, the sleeping with my mother was my favorite. And then here are Jason's.
I think, we discussed all 5 of those.
All 5 of
He's
Jason's.
not knocking himself out. He's supposed to get 10.
Yeah, he said he had 10 maybes and 5 favorites, so I didn't want to.
All right, look, Trevor, he didn't do his job. Don't pay him for this.
Just before we move on, and this is not to fight for one of Bob's, but one thing I really did like about Get My Dad Off the Floor is it did something that I think really good captions do, which is it makes you think a bit outside the cartoon, and it tells a story. And it makes you think about this parent who's so irresponsible that they would bring an infant.
You know what? Let's put that in. And honestly, it's very good.
Oh no!
It started off.
It's almost like an anti-caption
authority. Now all of a sudden, I was first among equals. Now I'm second among equals.
This is almost like an anti-caption contest.
Be among the equals.
This is almost.
It does. I mean, it's like Lawrence is right. It does do something extra. It does do an extra bit of work, and it's nice. It's a surprise because it makes you go back and then build out a scene about something that just happened. Like, there's enough of a gap between these two. Between the baby and the other guy at the bar?
Because I've now decided I'm still first among equals. I want that in there. But then we have to knock something else out.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look.
All right. Well, we're keeping this one in.
Well, that's good. You got to keep that.
We are keeping this one in.
Yeah,
you got to keep
all right.
that.
I can't get the M dash here. The M dash, I'll fix that later. But I do love M dashes in cartoons as well. I can barely manage the one-step program.
That's good.
I can't just crawl back to her.
Okay, so I think we can knock that out.
Maybe we knock that out for the reason Jason mentioned.
I think we can knock that out. Remember, there was a criticism.
No, there was a criticism. You're right.
Yeah. There was a criticism. It was peer reviewed, and I mean, he is a peer.
Not that means anything anymore.
Yeah, right. This is a great.
Let me just update
the. Now, what do we do now, Trevor?
We got to pick the winner, but let me quickly do.
Let's
do some admin here, real quick, with your one. All right, so we officially have 6, and alrighty, we got 6. So we got to pick a winner. I think
it should be the Sleeping with the Mother.
And then it hit me. I'm sleeping with my mother. It's funny, clever. I like it. I would pick that one.
And it's a tiny bit transgressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it being a little weird.
Yeah.
It's 5 a.m.
This one is my favorite. I think it just feels right. There's something about it.
This one is great. Also.
I guess I'm going to pick the winner here because I'm going to do the thing now. I've decided every once in a while I can do this. Is the mother thing is just unusual, weirder. It's, we're giving sort of credit.
In some ways, this is more clever in a way. But yes, because like what Jason said, the mother one might be better on a psychiatrist's couch.
Right.
That's true.
It's very sort of Freudian.
Well, other than a bar is like a psychiatrist's couch. It's the same.
Because this one doesn't seem that funny.
All right, there we go. Thank you, Joel. Thank you.
This one doesn't seem as funny at first, but then it's funnier.
Right. But when you think about things that are funny, it's not just the form of it. It's the kind of transgressive nature of it. It's got a little sex in here. It's got a little that. So
surprise.
These are the things, surprise, all of that. So this fits.
Well, I feel this has more momentum.
It fits perfectly. And that's why it's not that funny.
Well, see, I find this one has more momentum after you read it. You're like, oh, ha, ha, ha. But then it gets a little, it's funnier.
It stays with you.
It stays. The other one is instantly ha. This one has a little bit more of an echo, in my opinion. But,
Yeah, but you can't. But you can't either take back the laugh or put it in. So the subsequent judgment. I don't know. So what would Okay.
So, yeah, it's sleeping with my mother. Doesn't want kids. 5 a.m. somewhere. You're sleeping with my mother? Is that it, Bob?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're actually going to do. My company.
All right.
This is it. Really, I'm a big fan of Elon Musk, and I'm just.
What, you're on ketamine?
Oh, is this supposed to be Elon? That actually makes more sense if this is Elon.
You know what? You know what? No, I renounce. This is like if you want, you can have the other one. You can have the.
Are you guys ready to hear what the public voted on?
Yeah.
Sure.
Jeez.
I will just read them.
I think they're going to go with the leave the bottle one. I think that's going to be
number one. Somebody call me a stroller.
Oh
wow!
Number
surprising.
Number two. Leave the bottle.
Okay.
It says no. This is leave the bottle, not just.
Okay.
This is the exact one of Jason's.
Mm-hmm.
I need a change. I can't just crawl back to her.
Mm-hmm. Wait! Stop a second. I need a change is number 3.
I can't see it. Can you?
I can share it, but then I can't read I'll share it. But I have to. We have the entries emails right next to it. So.
I need a change is punchy.
Yeah, I need a change. I can't just crawl back to her. I drink to forget the contractions.
No,
these are. Well, Jason, if you haven't seen these before, we always like to make fun of what the public chose. I've been cooped up inside for 9 months, and then she just pushed me out. I fell off the wagon, which is kind of funny. I almost put that one in.
I put that in originally. Yeah.
Leave the bottle. So it's like 2 people gave the same exact one, which was Jason.
Right.
I'll have to crawl out of here. It all started when I lost my binky.
No.
It's 5. Oh, we have 2 5 a.m.s. So I will have to. One
of them's earlier than the other.
We'll have to timestamp that.
Yeah.
She got tired of trying to change me. Would you put this in a sippy cup? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. All right.
Because let us down quite badly there, I think.
You feel very let down by our customers.
I think so. I think they're not holding up their side of the bargain.
And the winner, if we're ready here, the winner is Joe Ayala, who has won before.
Yeah, that's a familiar name.
And then it hit me. I'm sleeping with my mother.
I'll tell you, we're supporting some of these people. They're making more money than cartoonists.
You're not kidding.
This is the place to be.
I will say there are 5 cartoons that mention the word mother. Then it hit me. I'm sleeping with my mother. You'd know if you met my mother. My mother left a bad taste in my mouth.
Oh, jeez.
I want
to crude.
I can't wait.
My mother makes me drink.
What a great crude one that is.
Yeah.
And my mother's milk, I mean gin. And it's just not like mother used to make. But my mother left a bad taste in my mouth.
Is there a chance to change your mind, Bob, if you want to go for that?
No.
So
Trevor, can you announce the names of the people who submitted the other 5 runners up?
Yeah, they were great captions.
I can. It's going to take 1 second to timestamp the other one, but yes, let's go.
Oh, because he had multiples.
All right, so
now I'll show you what we're Jason.
What you're doing that, Jason?
Okay, so you helped my dad off the floor, John DeFazio.
Nice one.
Yeah. I don't know that name.
Tired of trying to change me, David Clark. She said she doesn't want kids. Vincent Coca.
Oh, God.
Oh, Vinny.
No Vin.
Classic.
Well done, Vincent.
I don't know how.
I can barely manage the one-step program. Steve Everhart, who writes in all caps, but he's good.
So, are we sending these people W-9s or something?
No, that's why we have the limit at 500. Actually,
But what happens if over the course of the year?
Yeah, if over the course of the year, technically they would get issued a. I don't. We have to talk to our wonderful accountant Rena.
So
1099 MISC.
I know you're worried about AI, right?
A little.
Okay, let me show you why you should worry.
Uh-oh.
Not really, but so this.
Oh, you trained a GPT for caption contest?
What's that?
Did you build a GPT for caption contest?
Yeah. So this, I just upload the image and you have it describe it, right?
Right.
In the cartoon, we have a bar setting with 3 cats, so you can see it describes it pretty well.
Yeah, very well.
So it can describe the image. So then it comes up with captions, and then not very good ones. I say give it 10 more, and for the most part, they're not great, but keep the sippy cups coming. I've got woes that will curdle milk. So the what it can do is generate a lot of these captions. Most of them are not good, but eventually you do if you keep doing it. What you don't actually get is anything deeper.
Yeah, you would never get at this point. Knock on wood. No, you would never get. Can someone please pick my dad up off the floor?
Right.
Yeah. So
or the bris.
So
the bris.
Yeah. When you look at it, anyway, you can. So I'm just working on it to. What we're using it for, Jason, so you're really not worried about it, is that we're using it so that on CartoonStock, we are having the AI being able to supplement keywording and also provide descriptions for the cartoons.
Yeah, that's great.
And hopefully one of the things we can do is something that we've talked about in the past, be able to give cartoonists access to their databases so that so right now you'll be able to upload the cartoon, have it described, have it automatically tagged and keyworded.
That's a fantastic use of it.
And ideally, I think like if Bob go into a complicated search where it's like, I'm writing a textbook that is about this and this chapter's about this versus just plugging in a keyword about XYZ. Like I think
scrolling.
Kind of you can't use a traditional search throwing just a single keyword or two, but the idea that you could actually give a whole arching project description and get cartoons results would be fantastic.
Yeah, so I do think the AI is going to be very useful for that, and all the cartoonists are going to be using it in one way or the other to collaborate.
Yeah. To clarify my point, my concern, it's mainly to do with the scraping of other people's art, copyrighted art, where you can say in the style of, and it will create art in the style of an individual. That's my big bugbear.
Yeah, for the most part, it can't do that. I haven't seen it do it. Not really.
Well, it's pretty good at some, not all.
Some.
It'll only get better though. Yeah.
But anyway,
also, in the context of the caption contest, we should say I think what you're doing, Bob, is really interesting to see what AI comes up with. Well, we should tell the people who are entering it's absolutely cheating to use GPT-3 to come up with a cap.
Yeah, our rules do say it has to be your own caption, which I infer removes the AI. I mean, unless anyone thinks it can be theirs.
Rule says, when you submit it, you're warranting that this is your original idea.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and I unfortunately there are people who do use AI that
and we are using AI to enforce that because there's no way that we could do it.
So should we? We'll sign off. Congratulations.
We'll sign off. Hey, Jason, it's great to see you. Let's get
great to see you guys too. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.